Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I've got another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, a better explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. So March 12, 2025, Jacksonsville Sheriff's Office does a traffic stop on a guy, and the dude decides to shoot at the police. The officer was shot during this incident. They were shot in the foot. As you can see, the bullet hole in their left foot there. They were also struck in their magazine pouch. And you can see the bullet strike on the magazine itself and some of the rounds that had been impacted by that. Suspect had a pistol caliber carbine. They call it a rifle in this. You can just chalk that up to police not knowing gun terminology very well. That's the thing, right? Like, a lot of people would think, oh, the police, they know everything about guns. No, they don't. There's some cops who the only reason they have a gun is because their employer gave it to them. And if it weren't for them being the police, they wouldn't have a gun. A lot of them, they don't know a lot about guns at all. And so it's very common for something like this to occur where they say, oh, this is a rifle. No, this is not a rifle. This is a pistol caliber carbine. But he had this carbine here, had the drum magazine on the bottom, and he was also wearing body armor. Don't know what level it was. And also had a pistol with him as well. He initially started the attack with the pistol and then was trying to get his carbine into action and went down after that. Alright, so those are some of the photos they released from it. Let's get into the video itself.
Perspectives on things that aren't informed by some sort of foreign power.
Stay in the cars. Traffic 6-6, shots fired. Traffic 6-6, shots fired. Trout River, limb turner. Traffic 6-6, it's going to be Trout River Rebought. Trout River Rebought. I'm hit in my foot. Bravo Mike, he's got a rifle on gun. I'm retreating back. Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get fucking back, you dumb shit! Where is he? It's a Bravo Mike long gun. I'm holding this corner. He's going to be northwest. Traffic 6-6, his vehicle stopped behind mine, or in front of mine. He's possibly shot. He's possibly going to be heading away from the intersection of Rebought and Trout, down Rebought. It's going to be over there.
You want me to stay with you or what?
Stay with me. We'll start this corner right here. He's going to be in this area.
Next, you'll see a portion.
All right, so let's back this all the way up. So right as the officer dismounts from his vehicle, the suspect wants to open his door. Obviously, that's a big red flag right there, right? Like, anytime a stop's made and someone's throwing that door open, like that's just odd behavior. You know that there's going to be something going on. Not necessarily there's going to be a shooting, but you know there's going to be some resistance and some headache involved. Appropriately and the right thing to do, this officer automatically drew his gun. And I'd say this is probably something that gave him the advantage of being able to suppress the threat quicker, is the gun was already out. He was already in low ready. He was ready for this gunfight. And had this officer kept his pistol holstered and not draw it until he was being shot at, this could have turned out a lot different. And although we can't see very well before the shots are being fired and can't see the suspect's face very well because of the lighting and everything, but I would say the officer having his gun out to begin with may have even delayed the suspect in shooting. He may have saw the gun and thought, oh, like, I want to do this thing, but he's got a gun on me. Had it not been for that, the suspect could have initiated that attack a lot sooner. And had that officer's gun been holstered, he would have been really far behind the curve. And like I said, I don't think it would have turned out the way it did. We'd probably be watching a line of duty death video. So him having his gun out was definitely a lifesaver, in my opinion. So immediately, almost damn near immediately, he starts taking fire. You can see the suspect's arm kind of poking out there. Shots fire out. Officer returns fire. And could have just damn near ate it right here on this this drainage right here. Like the footing for him worked out. And I don't know if this guy could have seen where he was stepping. Usually in these type of incidents, there is tunnel vision involved, and your peripheral vision goes to crap. And so, like I said, I think it might have just been luck the way he traversed down this without taking a big step off into that middle and then just crumpling down on the ground. Had that happened, that could have been, I don't want to say a game changer because that sounds kind of bad. But that would have been that could have changed the outcome of this event had he stepped off the side of this incorrectly and crumpled down. That could have given the adversary the opportunity to dismount his vehicle and come over there to the officer and start dumping rounds into him as he's trying to get himself oriented back up. So I think it was luck that he stepped down the way he did. And avoided this huge drop off. I mean, just imagine if his foot would have stepped off, boom, right there. Like he would have ate it. Like he would have fell down, rolled to the side, or even worse, hitting this or his arm hit it and then dislodged the gun from his hand. Either way, like it would have been bad, I think, had he stepped on that sudden drop off. Looks like he's trying to activate the camera while he's shooting. And, it's great that he's wanting to activate the camera. But in this moment, You need both hands on the gun. This is a gun fight, not a camera fight. Yeah, the camera is great. It helps to exonerate you. It helps to prove that the other person was in the wrong. And this is where proper tactics for cameras should be developed. And I believe that those proper tactics would be activating the camera before you ever get out of the damn car. Like just blanket policy, so to speak. Before you get out of that car, you activate that camera. You know you're going to be making a traffic stop as you're rolling in behind the person. Go ahead and activate that camera. If you capture 5 minutes of you following that person, waiting for, them to commit more traffic offenses and or to find a safer place to pull them over, then so be it. You're capturing 5 minutes of just you driving around. Who cares? Turning on sooner is the best option, in my opinion, because it allows you to not have to worry about the damn thing in the moment. So, if this camera would have been fully activated before making the stop, and it may have been because we have the audio on before you see him reach up to his chest. Now, that doesn't mean that the camera was not in buffer mode. So, for default, in buffer mode, you don't hear audio. You get up the default, you get up to 30 seconds, no audio on buffer mode, and then when you hit the event button, it starts recording audio. You can actually configure it to include audio. You can actually configure it to have up to like 120 seconds of buffer, but for default, it's just 30 seconds, no audio buffer. So his camera could have already been activated, and he was just instinctively reaching up to hit it. So that's possible. And it's also possible, too, that when he activated his emergency equipment, it went ahead and activated the camera. So those kind of systems are set up like that, that really make the traffic stop process for turning on the camera a lot easier. Like as soon as you turn the lights on, boom, it sends a signal to the camera and automatically turns the camera on and makes it start recording. But if you don't have that set up, then before you ever get out of the car, I think the best practice is to just go ahead and tap that camera, get it on, get it start recording. That way, you don't have to worry about it as you're getting out of the car. Because what if you start taking contact as soon as you're getting out of the car and you forget to activate the camera? Well, you're potentially losing out on capturing exonerating video footage that would help clear your name in a use of force incident. But the biggest thing is in the fight for your life, if your camera's already activated and you don't have to mess with it, you get to keep both hands on the gun. So when it comes to a handgun, handguns are not very accurate compared to like rifles. So with a pistol, you've got a very short barrel and a very short sight radius, and you only have 2 points of contact on that gun, or you only have 2 ways of contacting the gun. The gun only has one handle, right? So the gun itself only technically has 1 point of contact. It only has one thing to hold on to. You have 2 hands. You got your primary grip, which is what you see him holding right here, and then your support hand goes in and covers up just this tiny little sliver right here, right? And adds some counter pressure to the grip there. And that's it. That's all you've got to hold on to that pistol with. So when you take your support hand off, I usually describe it as you're slashing your accuracy in half. You're taking half of your foundation away from that pistol, making you half as accurate as you could be. So you want both hands on the gun in the flight. So turn those cameras on way sooner. He continues to lay down fire on this guy. And he gets to a point where he runs the slide lock. And he has to move, right? So go to slide lock. You are holding a hammer at that point. It's not a freaking O-light. That isn't O-light. Ugh. Crappy. So he makes the decision to run for that fence over there. He has a nice, what looks like kind of a nice little thick brick structure right here. Looks like it's probably like a sign or something like that. But it could have been potentially big enough to initially go in behind. And that brick, in my opinion, would have been a better piece of cover to go behind. This is going to stop bullets. That vinyl fence over there is not. That's just concealment at that point. So I think that he would have had a better position in behind these concrete or brick pillars here. Even though, they're slim or smaller, I think those would have been better use of cover than going over here to this, what looks to be the vinyl fence. He covers a pretty good open area here with an empty gun. That is a long distance. It's a whole long time to be out in the open with an empty gun. I mean, I don't know what all was going through this guy's head, but this had to be probably one of the scariest moments for him. I mean, obviously being shot at has got to be scary. But to have an empty gun and then having to run across what essentially no man's land, just totally exposed, that's got to be, man, that's got to be scary. Like, that's got to be pucker factor times a million right there. He gets to his position of concealment. Again, this is not cover at all. Bullets will go right through this fence, no problem. Now, I don't know if this was the first mag that he went for and just got lucky that it wasn't the other magazine that was all jacked up. Or he could have been reaching down, grabbing that other magazine, and then knew that, hey, there's something wrong with this, and then went to the other. I don't know for sure. But he gets that new magazine out, puts it into the gun. Whoa. And taps it. And it causes the slide on the gun to automatically go forward. He starts to rack the slide, but then stops. So this happens a lot with polymer framed handguns. When you aggressively insert that magazine, you tap it in. That can cause the frame to flex a little bit and then cause your slide stop to disengage and allow the slide to ride forward. The majority of the time, yes, the magazine is fully inserted and the slide does strip around out of the magazine and into the chamber. The there there have been times where it has not. And so the best course of action, in my opinion, is when you insert that magazine and the slide rocks forward on its own, do not assume that it actually stripped around out of the magazine and into the chamber. Go ahead and just rack that slide. Now, that people will say, but you could be ejecting a live round. Yeah, you could be. Would you rather eject a live round or think that you have a live round in the chamber, step out from behind your quote-unquote cover, which we know that right now this is not cover, this is just concealment, but step out from your cover, expose yourself, sights on target, squeeze trigger, and get a click? Which one? Which one do you want? Do you want to eject one live round, or do you want to come out from behind your cover, exposing yourself, sights on target, squeeze, and then get a click? I would much rather lose that one live round. It should also be just automatic. Like, it shouldn't even be something that you think about, right? So when we are training gunfighters and other things too, it doesn't have to be just gunfighting. It can be stuff that you need the midbrain to perform in an adrenalized state. When you think about learning, so the brain learns in a few different ways. And the brain, you have your forebrain and your midbrain. Midbrain is primordial, right? Midbrain is what it can be described as puppy brain or monkey brain, whatever. It only cares about the 4 F's. Fight, flight, feed, and fuck. That's it. That's all that brain cares about. The basics, the necessities of life. And forebrain is what sets us apart from all the other monkeys, right? It is what makes us human. It has given us our Picassos, our Beethovens. It allows us to do math and really amazing things like put a person on the moon. Under a stress and adrenaline, fight or flight response, you start to lose the power of your forebrain and midbrain takes over. So academically, yeah, forebrain, that's how we learn in school, right? That's how we remember historical dates and formulas and all the information for civilization, and we're able to recall those things years later, right? But in fight or flight, your forebrain power starts to go away and midbrain starts to take over. Well, in an academic setting, we can teach forebrain all day. Midbrain, you can't really teach midbrain academically. Like, you just don't sit in the classroom, go over gunfighting stuff, and then midbrain knows what to do after. You have to act that stuff out. You have to be physical. You're building quote-unquote muscle memories. And you learn these things in an adrenalized state. And you do these repetitions and under stress, because midbrain has experienced these things before, it will help know what to do when fight or flight happens. It won't be oh my God, this is the first time this has ever happened. What the hell do I do? And so when we go through the repetitions of our martial gun handling, simple things like tapping and racking every single time, even when you know, like in a training state, and your forebrain is very strong, you know that magazine was fully inserted and seated, and then the slide went forward. You know with a 99% certainty that there is a freaking round in that chamber. Even then, you still rack. You want to do that every time so that in an adrenalized state, if your forebrain power is very severely diminished and it's just mostly midbrain operating, you want midbrain to do that same thing over and over without having to think about it. Now, this guy, I think he had a lot more forebrain power than what some other people do. Because when he was moving from that one point to here, and he's talking on the radio, he's talking smooth. He is as cool as the other side of a pillow. He's not franticing. He's not losing his shit. Like, he is cool, calm, and collective. And he's just been shot, right? Like, I've been shot in the foot. Like, I mean, he is as cool as the other side of the pillow. So that tells me that he has probably excelled in his training and has had some decent training. Probably has done some good reality-based scenarios, some force-on-force stuff. Or he just could be a natural, right? Like, it could just be that, he excels at that kind of stuff. But I'd say that most likely he's had some decent training in his background. And I think that his forebrain power is probably a little bit stronger than what other people's are that are in this same kind of scenario. And I'd say maybe forebrain was working at this point when he inserts the magazine, slide rocks forward. His forebrain was probably saying, "Oh, I'm pretty confident there's a round in there." So it's not that this is just an automatic, autonomous, midbrain kind of thing. I think in this moment he probably was actually thinking. But when it comes to reloads, we just don't want to rely on that high possibility that after tapping the magazine in and the slide rocks forward on its own, that the gun's loaded. Like, we want to physically manipulate the gun to ensure that there is in fact a round chambered. Not just it's most likely, but there's freaking one in the pipe. He steps back out, and I believe it's at this point when we later look at the home security footage that the guy is getting his pistol caliber carbine out, and the officer engages him. Now, because of the position of the body camera and this fence right here, we don't see the bad guy very well. We just see the officer shooting at him, and then he decides to fully retreat further away from the fence. So I would suspect that this officer saw that long gun and probably had the thought, shit, I've got a pistol against a rifle. That is a huge disadvantage. This guy could be able to reach out and get more accurate hits on me than what I can get with this pistol. Now, speaking of pistol and accuracy, like, this officer did pretty damn good hitting his target at that distance after being shot and being in what has to be a hell of a adrenalized state. This is not typical pistol engagement distance right here. Right? This is not normal. This is probably double, triple the standard distance for law enforcement firearms training. From the car, because we can only see his car, from his car to about where he was initially around in here, that is the typical distance that you'll see intermediate to longer range of officers standing when shooting at targets for training. This far back, like, yeah, you can go this far back for qualification purposes, but it's just not normal. And when you look at actual fights, this is also not a normal distance for gunfights. It is what was to begin with up there when he started from right outside his vehicle and the suspect right there. Like that and closer is the typical distance. And then getting to here where he was is kind of stretching it. Being all the way over here, like that's far. So hell of a good shot. And when we bring up the other officer's body camera, you're going to see some bullet holes in the side of the car. And two of them are like right on top of each other on the B pillar. So he's only using iron sights too. Like he doesn't have a dot on his pistol. So this officer with iron sights at this distance after being shot and being under stress, having a huge amount of adrenaline going through his body, this is the point where he puts rounds on this guy and puts the threat down. So again, I think this guy has had more than just his basic academy training. Like I think he's done some more than just that. And if not, then he's just really excelled at his training and is just a good performer, right? Like he's just a natural, so to speak. But great hit under these conditions. Like I said, this is an unusual distance. He's using a pistol with iron sights. He's been shot. And the adrenaline that must be going through his body must be very high. And he puts incapacitating rounds on the bad guy. Takes the bad guy out of the fight and kills the bad guy. So, phenomenal. But, like I said, he could probably see that long gun and has decided, I don't want to stay where I'm at shooting it out with a guy who has a long gun. Now, he may not have known right then and there that it was a pistol caliber carbine, or he may have even known that it's pistol caliber carbine and knew that, hey, this guy it's a long gun, it's going to be more accurate than my pistol, even though they both fire the same, or potentially fire the same cartridge. His has a longer barrel, and he can be more accurate with it. So he decides to move away. I can't blame him on that. But I don't like how he stays mostly out in the open once he does retreat. He gets to over in here, and it's still mostly wide open area. He could have, I think, taken a pretty good spot in behind this big thick thing right here and have a good amount of cover. And if that guy would have tried to pursue him, that guy would have been out in the open down in here, and this officer could have been behind this very thick slab of brick/concrete that's probably filled with either more concrete or at least dirt. Like it's a big thick thing that's going to for sure stop bullets. But instead he comes all the way out here on the open and then decides to lay it down. I would say that probably at this point he's starting to really feel it in his foot. So in the very beginning he's moving pretty quick. Like you couldn't even tell just from the glide, I guess you could say, of him moving through the body cam that he was shot. Like, you just couldn't tell. But now at this point, he's starting to kind of favor that foot. So I'd say the level of endorphins that initially came out may not be as high right now because he's starting to feel it. I get that, right? Like, I mean, I've never been shot in the foot, but I've stubbed my toe a few times, and I can just imagine, the amount of pain that he's probably in. So yeah, I could obviously totally understand him wanting to take some relief off that foot and lay it down, but laying down out in the open, I just don't think is the best place to do that. I think the best place would have been to lay it down in this area. That way, if this guy came out from around that fence, he would have a pretty good thing of cover right here to shoot from behind and have a higher likelihood of bullets being soaked up by that big thing versus him all the way out in the wide open being soaked up, or him soaking up bullets. Now, could he, from this distance, could this still be effective cover? Yeah, right? Like, he just all he has to do is make himself a little bit smaller, go down a little bit further. This thing's still going to stop bullets, but based off, the topography, I guess you could say, like this, I think is probably at a lower elevation than where he's at. He's on the road. This starts to dip down a little bit. So he may be sitting a little bit higher. We can tell that the camera is being able to show the ground right there, and you know that the camera is mid-chest. So his head, what he's seeing is he's probably seeing a little bit more than what we're seeing on camera. So he would probably have to get a little bit more lower than what he is right now to really have, at this distance, effective stopping for this cover. You don't have to crowd your cover, and it's not recommended to crowd your cover unless it's nighttime or the bad guys have the high ground. But I think he could have been a little bit closer to this cover to make it more effective. And I love how as he was making his way down here, he's trying to tell these people to get back, and of course, they're probably just looking at him all dumbfounded, like, oh my god, what's going on? And he's like, get out of here, you dumb shits. So we see the turd here trying to shoot at him, and the officer returns fire, of course, hits the driver's side door, glass goes flying. Actually, you know what? I haven't played this one yet, so let me back it completely all the way up. We'll play the home camera here. There is no audio for the home camera. So he's coming out with the long gun there, and then boom, he starts taking rounds. So this is from where the officer is behind that fence area. You see the suspect wallowing around inside the car after being hit. You see right here, his carbine drops down. And it's kind of, you can't see it from this angle, but the butt of the long gun is resting up against the B frame here. He's, like I said, he's kind of wallowing around inside the car. They don't state where the bullets hit in this guy. You will see blood on his body armor, so he was hit up in the shoulder area. I'd say it's possible that the round either hit one of the arteries up in there, or depending on the angles and everything, it could have actually gone in through that side and then went in and went into the chest area and potentially maybe, went into the thoracic cavity and hit maybe like the aorta or went into a lung or something. I don't know. They don't really specify how he was hit, but we see him, like I said, it was not an immediate physical incapacitation. You see him walling around in here. I would say he hit probably a major blood vessel, and this guy likely just bled to death. So the time frame on this home camera is 9:08. It's not that long after shots have been fired. Let's see here, 9:08:23. Let's go forward some. Cavalry starts to arrive. This woman, they don't really specify what this woman's involvement is. I don't know if this is just a random house that this dude decided to pull into, if they're actually related or anything. I wish there was some more context giving on that. But she comes out and then wants to get all close to seeing what's going on after hearing gunshots, and then she wants to come outside holding this object in her hand. Obviously, we can tell from playing it back and forth that it's a cell phone, right? But there's been times where people have been shot holding just a wallet in their hand. And small, dark objects in your hand in life or death situations for the other person who only has a split second to make a decision, it can look like potentially a gun in their hand. So incredibly stupid on this woman's part to, one, hear a gunfight outside her house, and then to come out with an object in her hand, knowing that there's going to be police out there who just been involved in this gunfight, and then walk out there with this thing in her hand. Like, she was just stupid. Just fucking stupid. Like, no, do not, like, you hear a gunfight going on outside your house, don't go outside your house. And you certainly don't go out holding things in your hands that, under stress and adrenaline, someone seeing you come out and you got something in your hand, and then they think that you may have a gun. Just incredibly stupid on her part. Alright, so let's hit play here. Based off her body language, they might be related in some way. But then again, some people just get very emotional, so you never know. One thing, too. Handgun. All these officers have handguns out. All these officers knowingly responded to an officer needs help, shots fired call. And they all chose to get out of their cars with just a pistol. They all chose to go to a gunfight and bring nothing but pistols. So this is one of my largest complaints with officer-involved shooting videos. When the police have the opportunity to grab a long gun but refuse to do so in situations where they need to be grabbing their long guns. Now, obviously, for the officer making the traffic stop, that's unrealistic, right? Like, you just don't make traffic stops. You just don't make unknown risk traffic stops with a rifle. Now, you can make felony traffic stops with a rifle, right? But unknown risk stop, yeah, it's not normal for an officer to make a quote unquote routine traffic stop and have a rifle out. It's just not normal. But these officers responding to an officer needs help who's been shot, that should be normal. That should be you get your rifle out. So this is a very common thing. It's very common, but it should not be. And I think the reason why it's so common for officers to neglect to get rifles out is training. I just don't think the training is good enough. Instilling that fighting mindset, that warrior mindset, I think maybe that's a little bit underdeveloped. I think that there could be more to that in some of the training. It's there, it's present, but I just don't think it's as strong as it could be in a lot of places. And the rifle training in and of itself, I think, is a little unrealistic. So when you think about handgun training, when you're on the line and you have your duty belt on, you got your handgun holster on you, you're starting those drills, you're starting that training with your handgun on you. And that is realistic, right? You're going to be walking around every day with a gun on you, your pistol. So yeah, you get to start the drills with the pistol on your side. Totally realistic. When it comes to rifle training, you start with the rifle in your hands. That is not realistic. You're not going to be walking around all the time with a rifle in your hands. At least not for domestic law enforcement. Now for military, yeah, a little bit different. Within SWAT team law enforcement, okay, yeah, maybe, you're going to be kitted up more than most, and could be starting off with rifle in your hand more than most. But for regular patrol people, you're not starting off with a rifle in your hand. This is not fucking Call of Duty, right? You're not sitting there swaying back and forth with this rifle in your hand and then boom, it's go time. Your rifle is going to be stowed somewhere. It's going to be in the trunk. It's going to be in the cargo space. It's going to be up in the cab of the vehicle in a rifle mount. You're going to have to go get the damn thing before you get online and start shooting. So with handguns on your side and, whistle blows, fight command comes out, boom, you reach down, grab pistol, start shooting, start blasting the paper gang. 100% realistic because you're going to have that gun on you. When it comes to rifle and you're starting on the line with the rifle in your hands and fight command comes out and you start blasting the paper gang with the rifle, not realistic at all. I think that rifle training should incorporate you having to go get your rifle from where it's going to be stowed at. That means going to the car and depending on how your rifle is stowed, whether it's in the rifle mount in the cab or it's out in the trunk or the cargo space of the vehicle, you have to go to that spot, get the rifle out, danger it up, and get back on the line, and then start shooting. The beginning of rifle training should be like half an hour to an hour of just doing that. Just going from the line to the car, getting the gun, and then coming back to the line. Or starting from the car itself as well. Because that's another thing is you're going to be in this car. And so whether your rifle is in the cab of the vehicle and you're in the seated position and you're having to reach over, hit the magnetic disconnect, get the rifle out, danger it up, get out of the car, go to the line, or you're having to dismount from the vehicle, go to the trunk space, go to the cargo space, get that vehicle out, whatever. That should be incorporated, right? get it out, go to the line, and then set it all back up, right? You do that multiple times, get those repetitions in, get it to be normalized. Hey, this is how I get my rifle out and ready for the fight. Because starting on the line with the rifle already in your hands, it's not realistic. Starting out on the range and your rifle's in a rifle rack, it's just not realistic. That's not how you're going to be getting your rifle, right? Like, there's no fucking rifle rack that follows you around, okay? It's going to be secured in something. Now, these two just kind of lollygag around and kind of sit here, and it's like they don't know fully what to do. It's almost as if they're waiting for guidance from someone else on going forward with this. There's two of them. They're fully capable of taking control on what's going on. Call me sexist if you want, but it's like they're waiting for this guy to come up and direct them on what to do, right? Like, because it's like the video tells it, right? It shows like they don't do shit until this other dude comes up, and then they start, the guy starts calling the shots, and they start doing what they need to be doing. But all the way up into this point, these two could have taken over. They could have known what needed to be done, but they just, stood around and did nothing. For sure, one of them could have already seized the carbine and moved it away. This woman right here, I think that it could have been plausible for her to hop up on the hood of this car and just point that gun straight through the windshield at this guy. And that way, if he became reanimated and start moving around, became a threat, just start plugging holes through the windshield at him. While this one, moved in to grab the carbine and move it out, and or grab him and pull him out. I think, that would have maximized the likelihood of being more accurate with putting rounds on target if needed to be. And, of course, it would have been a safe trajectory to be able to do that. Firing downwards, because right now, if she has to fire right now at this guy and this guy slumps down some, part of this dashboard, from her point of view, part of this dashboard and steering wheel column area right here, that's going to be something she's going to have to contend with. If she's closer and puts that left knee up on this hood and is pointing down, this guy's going to be a whole lot more visible to her. She's going to be able to put more rounds into him more accurately by hood surfing on this car versus standing all the way back here. And then plus two also, what if this guy throws this damn thing in the gear and then guns it? Well, her car, house, like, this is not a place you want to be at. So I think that hood surfing, so to speak, is a viable option. Jump up on that hood, point that gun down through the windshield, and they do something that warrants them deserving to be shot. Let them have it. And you're going to be more accurate with putting rounds on them. You're not going to have this part of the dashboard, potentially catching rounds, deflecting rounds, whatever. And you're basically shooting downwards at that point. The rounds are going to terminate into the bottom of the vehicle, which would be safer versus firing outwards in this angle, and then maybe rounds skipping, going through window to window, whatever. It's just, I think it's just a more optimal way to go about this. And this guy right here coming up, like, where is his sense of urgency at? Let's see if I can make this go up. So they got this guy, right? Like, they're going to start dragging him out. And this guy right back here, like, he sees that they're dragging on this dude, right? And he just nonchalantly just walks on up, like, what's going on here, guys? Oh, shit, that's a body. Yeah, I'm going to step back. Oh, look, here's a gun. Oh, I guess I'm going to go this way. You dragged him out. I'll turn my back to this guy. Like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Like, where's the pep in your step, man? Like, come on.
On camera. Medics are.
Let me move this.
The gun is in the passenger seat. I can't tell if he's breathing or not. He's moving. He's moving.
So you see those two holes right here in the B pillar here. Couple more rounds right in here.
Suspect's been detained. Slow it down.
Carbine right here.
Is it unlocked?
He's moving.
Here, Highland and Trump.
Okay.
His head is moving.
I'm gonna move this out of the way real quick.
Pull him out. Move out of the way.
Hey, shit, my rescue behind us. You know, this side. So, on to the left foot.
All right. This is a good sight right here. Yeah, no sympathy for someone who shoots at the police. I just don't get into that. And I love how they don't censor the video. Let the people see. This is what fucking happens to you when you shoot at the police. This is what all those little thugs need to see. They need to see the partners that are here fucking killed, right? Like, this is what they need to see. We don't need blur boxes hiding this right here. This is reality moment. This is a reality check. This is what all those little hoodlums need to see. Oh, damn, bruh.
I'll get my car.
I have no outstanding suspects, correct?
It was like
Let me get one unit on Smith Turner and Trout River to something shutting down and
you need to take his vest off.
So, what I was saying earlier, it's like they didn't know what to do and they're waiting for directions from someone. Do I take this vest off? Yeah, you take the fucking vest off. Number one, just because he's unconscious right now doesn't mean he's going to remain unconscious for the duration of this event. There are people who've gotten back up after being shot. So yeah, take the vest off. Because what if he reanimates and starts fighting some more? What if he crawls over for that damn carbine that's just a couple feet away from him? Yeah, I wouldn't want him wearing body armor if I want to shoot him some more. So yeah, take the damn vest off. You're going to have to take the vest off to render medical aid anyway. So, it's frustrating when you see people in these positions, in these careers, where they shouldn't be asking stupid questions like that. And then I know I skipped it a little bit. At one point, she asks or she says she don't have any gloves on her.
I didn't hear what you said.
Let's try to take that vest off of him. Okay, you got something for the shoulder out there.
Yeah, that's when you got hit.
It's clear. You can hear Highland and Shaw River. Leave that.
Okay, someone needs to come out and plug that hole.
Behind everything,
You got no gloves. You got gloves.
I ain't got no gloves. How the fuck do you not have any gloves? You're the fucking police. Like, you're dealing with people who are going to be covered in bodily fluids. Whether that's blood, piss, shit, or they're just nasty ass people. Or, here's a mind-boggling thing. As a police officer, you handle evidence. And sometimes, that evidence that you're handling, you don't want to contaminate it with your fingerprints. So why the hell don't you have gloves? Like, that kills me. Oh my God, that kills me. How the fuck are you going to be a police officer and not carry a set of fucking gloves on you? How much of a fucking soup sandwich do you have to be? That, like, something that small, something that minuscule annoys the fucking shit out of me. You should always have a pair of gloves on you. But hey, she passed the silly little exam to get hired, and she's good to go. Fucking DE hire right there. So you can see that this is where a lot of the blood is right here. Again, like I said, depending on the angle and everything, I'd say it's possible that a round came in, hit somewhere up in here, hit one of the major arteries, or even went further into the thoracic cavity and hit like the aorta, or even went in and potentially maybe hit the airway, lung, and a number of few things could have happened that would have caused him to expire. But it looks as though, again, just based off the blood, that's probably the area that did him in, right? And that distance that officer was at with a pistol, that's pretty good shooting. Pretty good shooting.
Look for the shoulder out there.
Yeah, that's when you got hit.
It's clear. You can hear Highland and Shaw River. Leave that.
Okay, someone needs to come out and plug that hole.
Behind everything.
Only big complaint at this point is he needs to be in handcuffs, right? Like, he just tried to kill an officer. He is obviously a violent individual who has no regard for life, has no problem trying to kill the police. Yeah, he is unconscious. He probably has that look of being dead. But like I said, there have been people who've been shot, been unconscious, and got back up again. And so if this guy were to get back up, it's a whole lot harder for someone to fight when their hands are cuffed.
You got no gloves. You got gloves.
There's two more right there.
The next step in this investigation involves an
Ah, that annoys the shit out of me. And you can't really see anything else on the rest of his body that would kind of maybe give an idea about him being shot somewhere else. So there is some right in here, so maybe he's got some bleeding going on from the hip area. Doesn't seem like a whole lot. Wearing the balaclava. Like, what is with the freaking balaclavas, man? Like, what is with the trend on that? Like, why all these dumbasses wear that crap? I would also say that it's unfortunate this guy had armor. Because aside from the fact that, it can make it harder to stop the threat when the adversary is wearing armor, but when the bad guys are wearing armor like this, it scares the general public. And when the general public is scared, they make stupid decisions. Henceforth, why we have the National Firearms Act and the other gun control laws that ban, all the fun stuff, right? Because the general public, way back in the day, got scared about, gangsters having machine guns, and it was like, oh my God, we gotta ban machine guns, and then want to ban silencers. So there's some places in the U.S. That it's not legal for citizens to have body armor. I think that's wrong. I don't think that the citizens should be restricted in owning life-saving equipment. But I'm sure in those areas, the reason why those laws came about is because situations similar to this, bad guys wearing body armor. It being Florida, I wouldn't think that there would be any traction, so to speak, with any kind of laws coming into place. But you never know. I hope that no Florida legislators try to introduce any kind of bullcrap body armor laws. But as we go forward in society, and things are easier to purchase, and things are more readily available, we're just going to see, I think, more and more of this. I think we're going to see more and more bad guys out there as time goes on wearing body armor. It's one of those kind of a fashion trend kind of things. So, like, within that culture, that gangster culture, the right now the balaclavas, right, wearing the freaking mask, that's a thing, right? Like, they see that in the rap videos, like, oh, I'll go give me a mask, bro. And they'll wear these stupid fucking things in the heat of summer. They'll wear these damn things. Wearing a hoodie, again, in the dead of summer, 100 fucking degrees out, someone's wearing a hoodie. Like, that shit's beyond me. I don't understand how people do that. I went to last year. I went to an amusement park with family, and it's hot. I mean, it's hot as balls, man. It's like 90 something fucking degrees outside, and this young teenager looking kid wasn't even a skinny person either. Like, this dude was fat. He had a belly, and he's wearing a hoodie. It's like high 90 fucking degrees. This dude's wearing a cotton hoodie. I was just dumbfounded. I'm like, how? Like, here I am. I'm wearing shorts, and I might have had a t-shirt on. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say I had to have had a t-shirt on because we just went to the pool. So just a regular t-shirt and shorts on, and here it is, like, high 90s. I'm sweating my ass off, right? And this this fat kid comes around wearing this hoodie on, and it's a fashion trend, right? It's like they have to emulate what their rap gods are doing, and so the balaclavas, the hoodies, those stupid man purses, the little Bic lighter holder with the retractable lanyard on it that they wear on the belt, the fanny packs, the Glocks with the switches. Like, those are all things that they see in these rap videos that people are doing, and they want to emulate that. And some of these rap videos, some of these rappers' Instagrams, they wear body armor, right? Like, they will get a vest, and sometimes I've seen some of these pictures, and sometimes you can tell that it's just the carrier. Like, there's no panels in it whatsoever. And I've seen, like, a nobody person trying to copy or emulate a rapper, and they too were wearing a vest. It was just a carrier. You could obviously tell that there were no panels in this damn thing. But this dude's got this carrier on, and he's taking his Instagram photos and holding his Glock, and holding the what we know is just a stack of ones with like $100 bill on the outsides, right? They only got two $100 bills, but the rest of the stack of money is $1 bills. But they're trying to make it look like they have a whole stack of hundreds, and they're doing I don't know what it's called, where they take that stack of money and they hold it up at the side of their head like they're talking on the phone. But, he's got that stupid fucking look and photo going on with a vest that obviously has no panels in it. And it's just a fashion trend. It just is. Like, if some of these little rap gods to them started carrying around fucking rainbow-colored dildos, these motherfuckers would do it. They really would. Like, they would go out and buy a rainbow-colored dildo and carry it around. So, with that being said, we don't even know what quality grade this vest is. It may not even be an actual bullet-resistant vest. It could be a stab-resistant vest for all we know. But the vests out there, you got multiple companies out there that sell to more than just law enforcement. So these things are easier to get now than what they were, like 2 decades ago. Used to be for, body armor, like, you had to buy it secondhand, right? Like, it was a secondhand surplus kind of purchase. Like, you just did not see people outside of law enforcement, military, or high-end security buying brand new ballistic vests. It just wasn't a normal thing. It was all hand-me-down stuff for anyone outside of those industries. And even within those industries, like even within law enforcement, there's some law enforcement agencies that were taking hand-me-down vests. There are still today agencies out there that take hand-me-down vests. They take vests that another agency has got and is now retiring because they're getting new vests. In year 2025, there is some agency out there that takes a donated vest from some other place because they just cannot afford to buy a vest for their officers. Blows my mind. But that's actually still being done today. But now, it is normal for anyone to be able to go to, say, for example, Safe Life Defense and purchase brand new body armor. Like, it no longer has to be just a hand-me-down option. So we got companies out there that they sell armor to the public. And again, I'm not saying this is a bad thing or nothing. I think it's good. I think that what the government has is what the people should be able to have too. But it is easier to get armor, and I think that based off how this culture likes to emulate, their rap gods or whatever, and just the obvious benefits of it, right? Like, it's body armor. It's going to stop bullets. That plus, they're easier to get now. I think that it's just going to become a little bit more of a normal thing to come across bad guys wearing body armor. I mean, they're already doing it. Like I said, most of it is just them wanting to emulate the rap gods and have that look. I'm sure some of them have that mindset of, yeah, it's very beneficial to have body armor. It can stop bullets. But I think most of it is just emulating. But I think that obviously as time goes on, some of that mindset will shift, and it will be them mostly embracing the ideology that, hey, body armor can slow down bullets and increases my survivability. And hey, I can go to this website, type in my credit card info, and I don't even have to pay full price for this damn thing right now. I don't have to pay $1,000 right up front. I can do a payment plan from Sezzle, and do 4 easy installments, and it's super affordable. So I see that becoming the norm, and unfortunately, because it's going to be the norm, I can foresee knee-jerk reactions against body armor becoming probably more prevalent. We'll probably see a larger attack on body armor and see the sales of body armor being restricted. I don't like that idea. I think it's kind of goofy. But if the body armor companies could do something to help reduce those chances, like automatically go ahead and request a copy of a person's letterhead from their public safety agency company, or request a copy of their CCW license before they make a sale, then I think that would help. If they would initiate on their own like that, I think that could help decrease the chances of these things getting out there. But these people, like most things, they steal, right? So I highly doubt he went online and bought this vest brand new. He probably stole it, or bought it from someone who stole a vest. That's the most likely thing. Same with the guns. Highly doubt this dude went to an actual gun store and bought those guns. Just highly unlikely. It's possible that for the drum magazine that he went to a gun store and bought it, because there's no background checks for that. But as far as him actually buying those guns themselves, I highly doubt he went and bought those themselves at an actual gun store. Now, he may have bought them. He may have bought them off someone who stole the damn things, or he may have stolen them himself. But I highly doubt he went and bought them from an actual FFL dealer. All right, I don't think there's really much else to say about this. The guy did die, which is good. So the taxpayers don't have to pay for this dude to be sitting around in a prison and then being released back into society where he would go and victimize somebody else. So this is a problem solved, problem staying solved, good, happy ending. Officer lives, bad guy is unsubscribed from life. All right, that's it. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.